Hello Wolfpack, we've just done an analysis on Digibyte the other day, so we figured that we'll follow it up with an analysis on Nano. And Nano and Digibyte, as you guys would know, are pretty big rivals in the crypto space. We're not going to be looking into the fundamentals too much, we're going to be looking into the TA because fundamentals tend to take up too much time, and we have spoken about the fundamentals of Nano and Digibyte on previous videos, so go and check those out. Those were only posted about a month or two ago if you want to know more about the fundamentals. But in terms of technicals, this is a very interesting time in the market. We seem to be having a bit of a lull in the market before the massive Q4 bullishness comes out fully. And, you know, we've seen this before multiple times, and it's definitely a tried and true kind of thing here. But if we look at Nano, we get straight into it on the daily chart. There's a few things we can identify that lead us to believe that Nano is going to be having a bullish next couple of months. Straight into the TA, Nano is a spiky mover. We don't really get gradual growth on Nano. As you can see, this whole construction since January is basically, in this range in which we just keep bouncing up and down between this range. So what that actually does is it makes it great for swing trading, because when it bounces off the red resistance box, it's going to come back down to the green box. You buy there, you sell at the red resistance, you buy the green, you sell at the red resistance. It's done that multiple times. Very useful for swing trading when you identify coins that do this. But Nano also occasionally has massive spikes up. If we look at the weekly chart, for example, sorry, we're just on log there, so we'll have to zoom in quite a lot here. But let's put that back where it was. So essentially, if you look here, we can see that in just 1 week in 2017, we went from around $4 to around $40. So we 10x'd in just 2 weeks. So that just gives you an idea of how spiky this movement is. And obviously, as the market appreciates in market cap, those spikes become less and less volatile. But we still are seeing massive spikes here in 1 week. Just a few months ago here in May, by the looks of it, we went from $7 to $18, which is almost a 3x. So look, it still moves very, almost erratically, and that's predictable, and that's what you actually want to see. You want to buy in these accumulation ranges, these green boxes, wait for that spike, and try and sell as close to the top as possible. Now, we have a few things on Nano I need to get into in terms of the technicals before we talk about the coin anymore. We can see that we've had this correction. We had a kind of triple top almost in this red resistance box between around $7.20 and around $8. During that time, we saw this bearish RSI divergence in which we could have predicted basically that we were going to drop where the price was going higher and the RSI was going lower, which kind of led us to believe that we were kind of, lacking in buying pressure, and selling pressure was definitely going to be on the way. We saw that drop, and this is not out of the ordinary at all. We've come back down, and we're testing our green support box currently. We're supported as well by the Gaussian channel, which is this green and red kind of channel we have here. It's supporting us quite well. We haven't seen a close below the center line, as you can see, which currently sits at around $5.35. If we close below the center line, it's actually not a big deal at all. What we do want to be seeing on Nano, though, is us bouncing in this first green box. Now, look, the reason why I'm bullish on Nano, the reason why I'm making this video is because I've identified multiple fractals that kind of look the same that I've seen from February in this region. Now, if you look at February here on Nano, you can see that we had a similar thing. We started down here in this green, what I have listed as excellent buying range. We moved up to the red resistance zone. As you can see here, we dipped down to this green buying range. We moved up to the red resistance zone. We saw a correction into this green zone, some bouncing around, and then a spike up. We've seen a correction into this green zone. We'll probably see some bouncing around for the rest of September. And then, hopefully, as Q4 approaches and altcoins start going parabolic, we'll see a spike up as well. That's my prediction. I think that October, as well as November, December, and January are going to be excellent months for the whole market, but also Nano due to this setup. It's going to break right through these resistance zones and right past its all-time high before the end of Q1, and I think that's pretty likely here. I mean, if we look at the cyclical theory, for it not to do that would be very interesting. As people, new people get into the market, Nano kind of takes the place as a rival to Bitcoin. So as new people get into the market, they're naturally going to be looking at Bitcoin. They're going to look at Bitcoin and they're going to see it's all the way in the sky, and that investing in Bitcoin isn't really worth it to them. So we're going to look at coins that could be the next Bitcoin, so to speak. And Nano and Digibyte and things like that are going to come up in the question, as well as Ethereum, but that will probably be pumped as well. So that is why Nano is a spiky mover. People look for coins like Nano. As you can see, April 17th, Nano had this massive green candle this year that you can see. That was on April 17th. This was right around the time that Bitcoin was at its all-time high. Right around the time that it was showing massive weakness, and people started filtering into alternatives to Bitcoin in seeking higher returns, and Nano would be one of those coins. Now, back to this fractal. If we take a fractal from this region, from what we just explained about this area looking similar to the last area, we can put this fractal here and we can see that it kind of matches up quite well. And if we look at this fractal, it should be taking us all the way back to 15 USD. That's just applying it without fixing it correctly, but 15 USD seems likely, and that would be in October as well, which lines up on our theories on Q4. So that seems beautiful there. As you can see, according to this fractal as well, we will be bouncing around in this green support box, not really dropping below. We do have as well a bullish MACD cross that could be incoming on Nano once we see a break out of this green support box, and flipping it for support as well. This is another reason why I like this fractal. It lines up perfectly with the support box. We flipped it there and we see a touch of the bottom here. This bullish MACD cross could come in, and that could be the launching pad for Nano to make this massive move. I do want to bring up as well on the RSI, if we actually make this a little bit bigger here and we take away the MACD, on the RSI, we can see that Nano reached a resistance block on the RSI at 80 during this time where we were testing this red resistance box. We similarly reached this red resistance zone here in August, and we reached 80 on the RSI, which is another supporting factor that this fractal actually is probably going to take place once again. If we look at the weekly chart on Nano, we can start to make some price predictions for Nano. In the last bull market, we haven't even touched our all-time highs this bull market, by the way. In the last bull market, we reached a price of 43 USD on Nano. That was in January, so that was when most of the altcoins were taking off as Bitcoin dominance dropped. I would be expecting, that region again, as I said, October to January, possibly into February due to lengthening cycles, to be kind of the parabolic, time in the market, particularly for altcoins as people seek alternatives to Bitcoin, which would have already run up at that point. So what I'm looking at for Nano, and this gives a perfect demonstration of what Nano is. It's a spiky mover. It doesn't really do gradual growth, and that makes, this bull market look a little bit interesting for Nano because we can see more gradual growth. This could be due to the fact that we have diminishing returns. Now, what I want to say for Nano is my conservative price prediction and my more optimistic price prediction. I have two different price predictions for Nano because it's hard to say where this will go due to the fact that the market environment is changing massively and Nano is actually moving differently in terms of technicals. As I just said, we're seeing more gradual growth recently, and in the last bull market we saw more parabolic upwards movements with hard ups and hard downs. Now, if we take the current price prediction for Bitcoin, for those of you who don't watch the channel regularly, my price prediction for Bitcoin by Q1 or possibly into even as late as April due to lengthening cycles is 120k to 150k. Applying this to altcoins usually move an extra 50% in relation to Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin 2x's, altcoins usually 3x on a general basis. This would put Nano between 55 USD and 65 USD. I've done the calculations. That's my conservative price prediction for Nano. And I know what you guys are thinking. Particularly people who are fans of Nano, it seems a bit low, and I agree, and that's why it's my conservative price prediction. I have no doubt that Nano could go higher if we bring up the log chart, and I know that log charts aren't really useful in determining, price predictions in terms of fractals, but if we look at the log chart, we can start to see some similarities between Nano in the last bull market on the linear chart and Nano now. Nano is still doing something similar. It's moved up in a gradual upwards trend. I'll get the pen out, which we've actually seen in this bull market, and we're yet to see that spike blow off top. So if we measure the move here in the last bull market from this triple peak, this is in around the same region in September. We're in September right now. We measured a move here. We can see that it was around, there we go, 24,400%. If we take into account diminishing returns, we can possibly, even half that from the current region, and we can see that our optimistic price prediction, we take 12,000% from the current prices, would be at around 714 USD. Now that would be more in line with some of the views I've seen on Nano recently. So I know it's a big range, but let's look at it this way. If you have conservative targets, you can have places in which you take profits and you can let the rest ride and try to reach your optimistic targets. When the market drops, you can take it out. So, realistically, 714 USD could happen. I wouldn't bet on it, but it could happen. And we've seen, as I just showed you, this fractal is supporting evidence for it. But 55 USD to 65 USD is very, very, very likely. So my opinion on investing is you should be taking profits at zones you feel comfortable taking profits in. And I feel very comfortable taking profits at 55 to 65 USD. But I fully understand that higher could happen, as just explained there. So last thing we want to look at Nano is the Bitcoin pair. And we can see, and the only thing I wanted to bring up on the Bitcoin pair is that Nano, has not moved at all. And it looks very, very similar to what we actually did back here in 2017 before the massive spikes up. And this spike up took only, 3 or 4 weeks. We went from basically nothing in terms of sats, 200 sats, all the way up to 29,000 sats. So we're seeing a kind of similar accumulation period. And if we applied it to the current structure, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to put a fractal here. It would basically put us way through the roof here on Nano, all the way up to like 64,000 to 100,000 sats or something like that. I'm not going to do that because I don't believe we'll make all-time highs on the Bitcoin pair, because coins very rarely do unless they actually, strongly outperform Bitcoin on unprecedented scale. But the fact is, there's more altcoins in the market now than there was in 2017, so there's more money spread into more places, especially with Binance Smart Chain and things like that. So for Nano to actually make an all-time high on Bitcoin, it'd probably be after reaching, into the top 10, into the top 20 at least, which would, line up with some of the theories that some hardcore Nano fans would have. But I'm not going to predict that. I'm going to wait and see for that to happen before I actually make any predictions from there. I think that's, a little bit of a long shot personally. It could happen, definitely, but I think it's something that you should just be a little bit restrictive of thinking into too much. But that's my price prediction for Nano. So 55 USD to 65 USD, I'm pretty confident that's going to happen. And then, who knows, we could be reaching up into 700 USD region as well due to my more optimistic price prediction. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Leave me some comments, going over some coins you want me to analyze for you guys, and I'll definitely take a look at them, see if I like any of them, and make analyses for them. All right, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one.